Greetings, friends and enemies, and welcome back to Art by Flan. Today, we're gonna have a shorter, simpler kind of video. I wanted to try and do MerMay this year, but I know it's really unrealistic for me to do a drawing every single day in May of a mermaid. I would get burnt out impossibly quick with that. So instead, I decided to, do 4 videos and 4 mermaids, all sort of related to each other, relatively simple drawings, just to kind of celebrate the month in a way that I can manage. Like, props to everybody who does mermaid and does draw every single day this month. Like, I would, especially if they're like all finished pieces, like I would never be able to. Like, even sketching would just be too difficult for me. But so I decided to do 4 different mermaids, all based on different flowers that bloom in the springtime. And we're week 1, we have anemones. I think that's what they're called. I think that's how you pronounce them. That's how I've always pronounced them, so I hope that's the actual way to pronounce anemone. But I picked a bluish purple one to start us off with. So it's just really simple stuff. Like I said, I've been feeling kind of burnt out on videos lately. I'm not gonna like stop making them or anything. I just wanted to do more simple stuff so that way I can still put out videos, but not like put out a half-assed video, I guess. I'm trying to lower your expectations from the start, I guess is what I'm saying here. Is they're gonna be simple, they're gonna be easy. The pieces I'm doing won't be too terribly complicated, or I guess interesting maybe to watch, but I wanted to still put out videos, but I also wanted to not stress myself out about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. I've been considering taking a short break from YouTube, but that probably won't be until August, later this year in August. We're moving houses around that time, around the end of July, and so I want to take August off to sort of get used to my new setup and not have to worry about videos and focus on getting moved and stuff, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'll talk more about that when the time comes and I actually decide whether or not I'm going to do that, or if I'm just going to schedule a bunch of videos in advance. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm just still working on line art here. Like I said, relatively simple, just a cute little mermaid girls of different colors and ethnicities based on different flowers for spring. Nothing horribly complicated, except for hair. I think this one has the most complicated hair because that's just how I do things. So I'm glad to get her kind of out of the way first. The footage gets a little weird in the next clip. You'll see when I start doing the shading that things get a little funky. Another thing you'll notice with these girls is I tried to make their tail fins sort of resemble the shape of the petals of the flowers. So each of them has a different flower, different hairstyle, and different tail fin to sort of match with their flower. So here we're moving on to the shading, and you'll notice right away this sort of looks different. It's a little choppy. I tested this out. I set up OBS Studio on my Microsoft Surface Pro, which I use at work to draw, and I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I can space out my workload here and do a little bit of shading at work and record it and use that footage. But this is that footage, and it's bad. It's slow, it's choppy. I tried to cut up as much as I could to save what little I could of this footage, but it's not good. So I won't be able to record any footage on my Surface Pro when I work. So all that will have to be done at home, which is fine, which is what I was doing before. I just wanted to see if I could do this. If I'm not recording the sketch or anything, then I can just work on that at work and not have to come home and do a whole piece start to finish. But yeah, I hope this isn't too painful to watch. It's a little painful for me to watch, and I ended up cutting out and losing just a bunch of footage because of, as you can see, stuff just pops in. It's really choppy, but I couldn't like not include something for the shading. But this is ending, and we're going into the base colors next. So what I did for the base colors, especially on the flower, is I took a photo of a peony that I found on Google. I'm not actually using the photo in there, but I took it into Photoshop and applied the stained glass filter, which what that does is it breaks it up into little stained glass pieces sort of looking thing and makes them all colors based on the image. So I was pulling my color palette from that, as you can see, for her tail and her outfit. I ended up tweaking it a little bit later, but this is a pretty good start. And you'll notice I originally made her hair black, but that changes as well. I did a little stuff off camera. I didn't mean to, but here I am coloring her hair black. I ended up changing her hair color later, which I don't know. I think the black would have looked good if I would have left it alone. But yeah, like I said, I pulled that color palette from that, and that's a good tip. If you need a color palette and you want it like based off a photo, just if you have Photoshop, take it into there and use the stained glass filter that's available like in the default filters or whatever, and that will give you a sort of regular looking, like, well, not a regular looking color palette, but an example of a color you can pull from there and use. I've used that quite a few times, and here you can see I've changed her hair color. It was originally black and I made it sort of this turquoise Sailor Neptune kind of color, and I wondered for a while if it made her look too much like Sailor Neptune, but I don't think it does. I think she looks different enough. But I'm just going in and showing you guys how the top shades and stuff. I think I normally leave most of this out. I don't know, it varies from picture to picture. I really struggled with getting her face a color I liked. I seemed like what I had was too yellow, and I tried altering it a bit to red, and I couldn't get it to look right, and so I did the best. Like I said, I didn't want this to be too complicated. I didn't want to spend 600 years fiddling and twiddling to get things 100% right, I guess. I just wanted to do something simple, something easy, something I was happy with, and go from there. But I really do like how her hair came out. I'm glad I went with that color looking back at it now. I think it looks really, really good. A nice little contrast to the rest of her, which is all sort of blues and warm color, cool colors. And there's that nice turquoise for her hair. So we should be shifting on into the final piece here in just a few seconds. This will be available as a sticker set once I finish all the girls. And if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Special shout out to my patrons over on Patreon, Adri Scribble, and Farzavale. You guys are the best, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.